No, that's left. So you just give the people somebody to hold them.
Good morning. Present the colors. Flowers, please. Comrades, this day is sacred with the almost visible presence of those who have gone before us. We honor the memory of those who gave their lives in the service of our country, and of those others who have dropped their burdens by the wayside of life and are gone to their eternal rest. May the ceremonies of today deepen our reverence for our departed friends and comrades. Let us renew our pledge of loyalty to our country and its flag. Let us resolve by word and deed to emphasize the privilege and duty of patriotism. Uncover. Almighty God, giver of all victories, we thank Thee for the opportunities which abide in our land, for Thy guidance in the hour of peril, and Thy tender love in times of need. Help us to remember with reverence and valor the devotion of our departed comrades, not only those whose bodies consecrate our country's soil, but also those who sleep beyond the seas, and those others whose resting places will not be known until the last day when the deep will have given up its dead. O God, teach us to honor them by ever cherishing the ideals for which they fought. Keep us steadfast in the cause of human rights and liberties, of law and order, and true Americanism. Give us the power to see and the will to do right. Grant that the American Legion may preserve the high ideals for which our comrades died. May Thy merciful blessings rest upon those they left behind. Keep us forever firm in righteousness, humble of heart, and unselfish in purpose. Amen. Cover. On this Memorial Day again, our nation has assembled to honor its heroic dead. 1,000 battles of land, sea, and air echo the glory of their valiant deeds. Under the quiet sod or beneath the murmuring waves, their bodies sleep in peace. But in the destinies of veterans, their souls go marching on. Because of them, our lives are free. Because of them, our nation lives. When we recall the things they did, the hero host seemed mighty in our midst. When peril threatened and their country called, with that divine self-sacrifice, they left their paths of peace to spring to arms, to make their breasts a barricade against the nation's foes. No sorrow for the loved ones left behind could dim the purpose in their souls. No weariness of march and watch could keep them from their heart's desire. No horror of the field, or sea or air, could beat their courage down. They fought for us they fell. Now, with one accord and deepest reverence, we do them honor. Let us not remember them in anguish. They would not wish our pity. For their sake, also let us not forget the loved ones they have left behind. Our tears or words of sympathy cannot bring back the comfort of those loving hands or the music of those voices still. Only the solemn pride of having given more than all the rest of theirs to live and weep. But all the world, because of what they gave, is indebted to them forever. Comrades, on this Memorial Day, let us pledge ourselves anew to patriotic service. Let us make ourselves the friend and brother, son and father, of those who will not see their own again in mortal flesh. Let us grasp with fearless hands the flag so nobly borne before, and like those others, planted always on the battlements of righteousness. All who stand with us today, will you not consecrate yourselves with us to emulate the sacred service that those who rest in heroes' graves may not have died in vain? Let us stand with bowed heads in solemn memory of our heroic dead. Hand salute. I want to thank all of you for coming out today. It means a lot when we remember those that are no longer here with us, that have given their lives so we may have this day. Remember, please, Memorial Day is not about picnics and parades, though there is nothing wrong with enjoying and celebrating our American way of life. Memorial Day is about gratitude and remembrance. It is about honoring the men and women who made it possible for us to gather here today in peace. But the reason that there is Memorial Day, the reason that we are gathered here, is to remember those who made our way of life possible and gave the ultimate sacrifice. They truly are the guardians of our freedom. Once again, I thank you all for being here. We're going to be departing here and going over to Our Lady of Lourdes for services up at the POW MIA. Thank you. Flag dismissed. Once again, get that back in. Music. Sorry. How are you, pal? See you. Yeah, I know.
this Memorial Day, the members of the Milltown Fire Department would like to pause to remember the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces who have given the supreme sacrifice for our freedom so we can enjoy this beautiful day in our country that we love. And on this day, we take time to honor our past members of the Milltown Fire Department who have answered their last alarm and the Ladies Auxiliary who supported them. Their hard work and dedication to the citizens of Milltown and our country brought us here today.
Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Salute.
I'll now have the placing of the wreaths, department wreath by Chief Stephen Medallion. Accept Association basket by President Tom Demansky. Ladies Auxiliary by President Jeanette Demansky, assisted by Deputy Chief Ray Jolly. We'll have the Lord's Prayer by Auxiliary Chaplain Elsie Cherico.
Please join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
I'll have the singing of God Bless America by Rosie Monahan.
Please join with me and sing God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairie to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Now the reading of the list of the deceased. President Tom Demansky of the Exempt Association.
It's our last Memorial Day service. Following members have left us: Ron Giles Sr., Chief Brian D. Bush, James F. Knox, Vincent E. Hendrickson, Samuel Carrasso, Chief Alfred W. Bailey.
And for the reading of the ladies, President Jeanette Demansky.
have departed us, Nancy Bizakay, Dea Visma, Mayor Gloria Bradford.
And salute! Now have the reading of the memorial flowers by Assistant Chaplain Roland Salus.
In loving memory of Richard Ligon by his wife Joan and family. In loving memory of Bob Valeta by his mother and family. In loving memory of Chief John Jack Salato Jr. by wife Ellie and family. In loving memory of Joseph Sprock by his son Dimitro and family. In loving memory of Sammy and Lois Carasso by Joel, Sam Jr. and family. In loving memory of Robert and Erna Cherico by their daughter Alina, Michael, Enzo, and Antonio. In loving memory of Chief Andrew Miller and Dot Miller by their family. In loving memory of Lawrence and Dorothy Mabel by their daughter Catherine Pierce. In loving memory of Lester Chip Clark by his wife Mary Ellen and family. In loving memory of Dennis Skip Lowe Jr. by Chuck and family, Dennis and family, and Norma. In loving memory of Chief Alfred W. Bailey by son Stephen, Debbie, Kelly, Amanda, Tom, and Gracie. In loving memory of Chief Alfred W. Bailey by daughter Patricia, Gina, Robert, Michelle, Dan, Frank Sr., Frank Jr., and great-grandchildren, Jameson, Stella, and Bennett. In loving memory of Jacob Lockenmeyer by his wife Carol, daughter Dawn, son-in-law Jamie, grandchildren Nick and Grayson. In loving memory of Chief Joseph Gasper and Gertrude Toots Gasper by their family. In loving memory of Edward Goff Jr., Sr. and Carmela Candy Goff by their children and grandchildren. In loving memory of Roberta and Charles Bud Goodwin by their family. In loving memory of Chief Raymond Jolly Sr. by his wife Helen, children and grandchildren. In loving memory of Chief Edward S. Hardo and Drew Hardo by the Hardo and Ladino family. In loving memory of Richard Collier and Jean Collier Bollinger by Michelle, Rick, Anne Marie, and grandchildren. In loving memory of James R. Snook by his wife Mary, children and grandchildren. In loving memory of John and Jean Vizicay by John and Shantae, Kevin and Patty and family. In loving memory of Nancy Vizicay by husband Bill and family. In loving memory of Wilbert Butch Linz and Marie Linz by their family. A donation has been made to the Milltown Fire Department in loving memory of William Michael by his wife Connie and family. A donation has been made to the Towers to the Tunnel Foundation in the loving memory of Chief Christian Jensen and Gertrude Jensen by the Petrie and Kuzma families. A donation has been made to the Tunnels to the Towers Foundation in loving memory of William H. Petrie Sr., Chiefs William Petrie Jr. and Diane Kuzma by the Petrie and Kuzma families. In loving memory of Chief Brian Bush by the Batalla, McCallie, Jolly, and Kozak families. In loving memory of Chief Brian Bush by his wife Dana Bush and his boys Lucky and Bo. May the winds of heaven blow and whisper in your ear how much we love you and miss you and wish you were here with us.
In the last several years, the Memorial Committee has been making every effort to locate our fallen exempt members. Working with family members and cemeteries, we have been able to locate 230 of our 232 deceased exempt members. William Clean died in 1923, and Nick Singamard resigned in the 20s. We have no further information. These are the only two gentlemen that we have not been able to locate. Our goal is to place a flag and marker for each of the fallen. We will continue to do our best, as some are buried out of state, and some have been cremated, and some in mausoleums are unable to have a flag. Members have been located in over 28 cemeteries in 5 states. This year we've placed 183 flags. I am proud of all the members who helped in placing flags or in gathering information. I believe this is the least we can do for those who earned this honor. It's the first time we're honoring our deceased members at the new firehouse. As you can see, it is still a work in progress. The committee has spent countless hours working with the monument company and the borough between making corrections in the names and dates of the monument and because there were quite a few, finding members who were left off and correcting the dates. The borough assures us that the footing will be installed as soon as possible. I want to thank the members of the department for their hard work on the landscaping in front of the building in the monument area. It is with great hope that by next Memorial Day, the monument will be moved, new granite slabs with the members' names will be installed, as they now sit in storage. The bell that was donated to us by Captain Vanderploeg will be set in place, and the department continue to honor their fallen members for many years to come. I, for one, am very happy that Milltown continues to set aside on Memorial Day to honor the fallen and not move to a more convenient time as many other towns do. May God bless our departed members and their families and give renewed inspiration to our current members to serve the borough of Milltown and protect its residents, lives, and property. And to also dedicate our past members' commitment to their service to them. May God bless our soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and Coast Guard who are fighting for our freedom today as in past wars. May God bless the United States of America. Today's ceremonies, but I'd like you to stay in place for a few minutes as we're going to be handing out service awards to members. Since due to COVID, we have not been able to have our annual banquet. I'm going to call up President Tony Korbanek, and he will award some service awards.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to call up first Deputy Chief Raymond Jolly 25-year award. 25-year award to Assistant Chief Anthony Fama. $25-year award to ex-Chief John F. Bisco III. $25-year award to ex-Captain Andrew Visicay. $20-year service award to Chief Stephen Talla. 10-year award to ex-chief Dan Knoll. Year Service Award to Roland Salus. And finally, a 10-year award to Brian Bukowski. I don't believe he's here. We'll catch him at a later time. Thank you very much for staying over.
Thank you. That concludes the service. Please join us in 72's Engine Bay for refreshments provided by the ladies auxiliary in the department. Thank you very much for coming out. Please take a look at the flowers and wander around.
Welcome. Thank you for coming down. Hope everyone's hydrated. You know, it's a really hot day. It's a beautiful day outside. Hope everyone went to the beach yesterday. I did it. I was working. So we keep it really simple here. We're going to have a special guest, John Smith, give our pledge of allegiance. So would everybody please rise and you ready?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Opportunity, legacy, duty, purpose, patriotism. The reasons behind choosing to serve one's country differs from person to person, but as varied as the reasons are, there is a universal understanding. Service means sacrifice. The impact of this ultimate sacrifice ripples throughout the community. With their stories that are shared in our neighborhoods, our homes, our schools, and our place of worship, these men and women become a part of the collective identity of our hometown. The stories of their sacrifice live on in pride of memories of their loved ones and of observance, and through inscriptions on memorials and plaques dedicated to their legacy of their generation. Woven into the fabric of our country, they instill a sense of pride among citizens. They inspire new generations to raise their hands in service. There is no greater sacrifice than to offer one's life for a greater good. There's a quote that I tell myself here and then, why do this? And it was said by Alexander the Great by 24 centuries ago. Bury my body and don't build any monument. Keep my hands out so that people know the one who won the world had nothing in him when he died. Because few men and women choose to put their lives on the line to serve, few go toward danger, few willingly face atrocities most of us can't fathom, few volunteer to serve. But we can ensure that those who make this choice and make the ultimate sacrifice can rest knowing they serve with the thanks of grateful citizens and knowing that they won't be forgotten. Now I will have Jonathan Schwerk, Jerry Reeves, and Kyle Rafferty lead our past life members who have done
Our deceased charter members, Everett Allen, Elmer Anderson, Raymond Becker, Landis Brindle, John Bullis, Reno Casagrande, Ben Cole, Silas Farmer, John Frost, Robert Gowd, Donald Hammond, William B. Miller, George Boats, who was killed in action in World War II, Edwin Nelson, Joseph Rademacher, Nick Ross, Andrew Williams, and William Wolf.
Our deceased life members, Joseph Cooper, Liam Fellows, Kristen Jensen, Frank Valentine, Walter Stratford, Rudy Polda, Thomas Goodwin Sr., Felix Analoxy, Leo Reddick, Charles Denser, Henry Sloper, Lou Tavis, Carl Sloper, David Montgomery, James Dean, Bill Mallory, Charles Zimmer, John Boyle, Ron Marshall.
And our most recent life members, Rick Brown, Ken Slover Sr., Bob Schmidt, James Voorhees, Frank Torok, John Horan, Robert Smalley, Frank Kane, Ted Butch, John Stadelman Jr., Hank Krapowi, Norm Price, Robert Vermilli, John Greasy, William E. Miller, Gerard Capella, Art DeGrazia, and Aaron Williams.
Thank you. I would like to now conclude our memorial service. Thank you for really attending it. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your service to our community members, our senior members, and to our councilmen as well. May you guys all stay safe. One last thing, we're just going to raise the flag outside. Please like to follow up with your trust.
Want members here?
Yeah.
Check, guys. Guys, get in the photo, you know? Come on, get in there. Salute. Right hand salute. Right hand. Right hand salute. There you go. After 11, it goes all the way up.
Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Here they all come.
First off, welcome. It's a beautiful day. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nancy O'Rourke, Chairman of the Hometown Heroes Program. I would like to welcome everybody here today, Memorial Day, to honor our hometown heroes. Would everybody please stand for the invocation? President Colleen Murphy will deliver the invocation.
Lord our God, we give thanks to you for the great land of our birth, with all its liberties and many blessings. Today we especially give thanks for those who serve their country in its hour of need, and for our fallen comrades who have given their very lives in that service. May we never forget their sacrifice, Lord. Watch over those military men and women on American and foreign soils this day, who knowing the real and potential dangers of their work, stand ready to preserve the cause of freedom with their devotion to duty, and those who served before them. Grant your continued divine care over the family members who are called upon daily to watch and wave goodbye to their loved ones as they go to their duty as members of our nation's armed forces. Honor their devotion and sacrifice. This prayer we offer in thy name. Amen.
Please join me in a moment of silence to honor those who have passed on and served so valiantly, making this country the greatest of them all. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rosie?
Please join me in singing our nation's anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. We are here today to continue a tradition started over 10 years ago to honor these hometown heroes. ordinary people called upon to do the extraordinary. Those that have been or are in the service of our country, defending our rights and freedom. Sharing a quote from Harry Truman, "Our debt to the heroic men and valiant women in the service of our country can never be repaid. They have earned our undying gratitude. America will never forget their sacrifices." Our intentions continue to not only be a tribute, but an initiative to reinvigorate our community and to remember that we all do share a common bond, and that those soldiers who are and who have served our country around the world to defend our freedom are our family members, neighbors, and friends. I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all those who have participated in the program over the last 10 years and allowed us to honor over 140 veterans. This couldn't have happened without the support of our sponsors. We have had heroes representing each branch of the service and each war since World War I, including those on active duty. Whether young or old, male or female, heroes one and all, we thank you, we honor you, and we salute you. The banners will be hung on the street poles along Washington Avenue and American Legion Way, Boulevard of Heroes, commonly known as JF Kennedy Drive. Bricks memorializing this year's heroes will also be installed at Memorial Park. On behalf of the Joyce Kilmer American Legion family, I would like to thank the governing body for giving us the opportunity to provide an avenue for the community to pay tribute to those who fought and continue to fight to defend our freedom. Thanks also goes to Platinum Graphics for the production of the banners, Jim Snook and his team for the installation of the bricks, the borough workers for the installation of the banners, and most of all, a special shout out to all the members of the Joyce Kilmer American Legion family who, with their dedication and assistance, make this day a success. I would like to introduce some dignitaries here with us today. From the American Legion, we have Commander Ron Dixon, President of the Auxiliary, Colleen Murphy, Commander of the Sons of the American Legion, Rick Moore. Commander Dixon, would you like to say a few words on behalf of the family?
Yeah. It's going to be real quick. I just want to know why I'm going to have to look at those faces on JFK Drive from now until November. I think we'll get over it. You have to remember, they've earned that. We thank them. Do me just one favor and I'll stop talking. When you see somebody in uniform, or you see them wearing the hats that they did work in the military, don't ask them what you do, where'd you go. Just go up and say thanks. That's all they want. Just a simple thank you. Thank you.
Other dignitaries here with us today are Mayor from Piscataway, Brian Waller. Representing Milltown, the greatest little town in the land, we have Mayor Tria Mayer. Council President Bill Zambrano. Councilman Rick Revelinski. Councilwoman Anna Neubauer. Councilman David Potter. And Councilwoman Margaret O'Donnell. Mayor Mayer, would you like to say a few words?
Good afternoon, everyone. As we gather here, as Abraham Lincoln said, to honor those who gave their last full measure of devotion, I'm humbled as the mayor of Milltown to see the crowd that's here, because As JFK said, it's not the words that you live by to honor them, it's the action, and to see the action of you coming out and all of the people that serve our wonderful community, it's truly heartening. So I appreciate all that the Legion Post does to put this together. It's a wonderful ceremony, and we're pleased to be a part of this. So I wish everyone well, and I will say that I've told Nancy this, next year,
Oh, now you're saying it in front of everybody?
Walter Jensen will be on there. That's my dad, and I have been saying for 3 years that I have to gather the paperwork to honor him, and I have not done it yet, but I am saying in public now that we will be up there next year. So thank you all for being here, and thanks so much to Commander Newcomb.
At this time, I would like to announce the servicemen and women who were nominated and sponsored by family and friends and approved by the Hometown Heroes Committee based on the guidelines. 2022 Hometown Heroes are Charles J. Agle, sponsored by his son Charlie Agle. Charles J. Agle is the father of longtime Milltown resident and Sons of the American Legion member Charlie Agle. Charlie wanted to honor his father this Memorial Day. Charles served in the European theater during World War II. He engaged the enemy at the Battle of the Bulge, Bergen Forest, and the Schau. His acts of service earned him a Bronze Star, a battlefield commission to second lieutenant, and a Silver Star application. Charles was proud to serve our country and continually supported our troops. Charles passed away in 2005. Thank you, Charles. James Francis Bergen, sponsored by his niece Michelle LeGoff. James Francis Buddy Bergen was born and raised in New Brunswick and graduated St. Peter's High School in New Brunswick at age 17 in 1942. Buddy Bergen was a fraternal twin and a German American. His mother was born in Bavaria, Germany. After graduating in June 1942, James worked at E.R. Squibbin's son in civilian life until he was inducted into the Army on April 27, 1943, at age 18. Originally, James was a member of the United States Army Air Force, into which he was inducted. In 1943, a U.S. Army Specialist Training Unit was stationed at Providence College, Rhode Island. James was selected to the Army Specialized Training Program, ASTP ROTC program, and stationed in Providence College, where he did military training. In early March 1944, the program was canceled, and the student soldiers were reassigned to 328th Infantry Regiment of the 26th Division, United States Army. PFC James Bergen was sent directly to France from the States in September 1944, and after getting his basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. He was a member of G Company 3rd Squadron 3rd Platoon, a frontline rifle company in the 3rd Army 97th Division, 328th Infantry Regiment, a unit of the 26th Yankee Division, General Patton's 3rd Army. PFC James Bergen went MIA on or around November 8, 1944, around Montcourt, France, 4 days after his 20th birthday. He did not answer roll call between November 9th and November 13th, 1944, and then he was listed MIA. James Bergen's body was not recovered until November 19th, 1944, and that became the official date of death. In the 3rd Squad, there were multiple casualties. 6 were KIA and 4 were WIA on November 8th, 1944. James Bergen was awarded the Purple Heart and is buried in Beverly National Cemetery in New Jersey. Thank you, James. David B. Crabiel, sponsored by his daughter and son Paulette Crabiel Waller and David J. Crabiel. David was born and raised in Milltown. At 16 years old, Dave, as he liked to be called, became the youngest member of the Milltown Rescue Squad. He was drafted in 1951 and was stationed in Alaska with the Army Medical Corps during the Korean War. He was discharged with the rank of corporal in October 1953. After returning home, David attended American Academy of Embalming and Funeral Service, graduating in 1955. In 1956, David opened his first funeral home in Milltown. He was past commander and a 50-year member of Joyce Kilmer American Legion Post 25. He was a 50-year member of the Milltown Lions Club. He was an honorary member of the Milltown Fire Department and Milltown JCs. He was also a member of St. Paul's Church. Dave was in service as an elected official since 1960 when he became a councilman in Milltown. He was elected mayor of Milltown in 1967, where he served for 11 years before being appointed to the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders in 1978. He became freeholder director from 1994 to 1995 and from 1998 to 2008. While serving as mayor of Milltown, he coined the phrase, Milltown, the greatest little town in the land. Dave passed away in 2008 at the age of 78. Thank you, Dave. Donald A. Herman Jr., sponsored by Sharon Honer. Don Herman is proud to be the fourth generation raised in Milltown. His heritage takes him back to the great-grandfather opening a luncheonette in the late 1800s that soon turned into Herman's Bakery on North Main Street. Don worked at the borough at a young age, but soon knew he wanted to serve his country in the U.S. Navy. Don enlisted in 1985 and served our country for 4 years. Don served in Japan and on a ship at the Panama Canal. Upon his return, Don went back to working for the borough and has been there for 37 years. Thank you, Don. Gary Holston, sponsored by his brother, Daniel Holston. Gary was raised in Milltown and graduated from New Brunswick High School in 1968. Gary served our country during the Vietnam War, serving in the U.S. Army from 1969 to 1975. Gary began his career as a police officer in Milltown and then went to the East Brunswick Police Department where he headed up the Water Rescue Unit scuba team. Gary retired from East Brunswick Police Department as a lieutenant. His public service also included serving on the fire department for 6 years, as well as being a councilman from 2010 to 2013. He also volunteered as a Milltown Little League coach and was president of the Golden Bears Pop Warner. Thank you, Gary. Walter Carniffs, sponsored by granddaughters Kelly Cooper and Allison Healy. Walter was born in Carteret and resided in Seawarden, graduating from Woolwich High School in 1940, where he was an outstanding football player and Golden Glove champ. Walter enlisted in the Navy in 1941, stationed on the USS Solace. He was one of 5 brothers who served in the military. As the bombs were being dropped on Pearl Harbor, Walter was on a zip line between vessels waiting to go ashore with acute appendicitis. It was well over a month before he called home to say he survived. After service, Walter was a Marine operating engineer, retiring in 1982. Walter's granddaughters Kelly Cooper and Allison Healy are members of Joyce Kilmer American Legion Auxiliary. They have been Milltown residents for over 12 years. Walter passed away in 2008. Thank you, Walter. Charles W. Prizza, sponsored by his son, Joseph Prizza. Charles served our country 1943 to 1946 in the U.S. Navy. He was a Seabee, serving aboard the USS Reuben James. He earned the American Theater Victory and Asiatic Pacific Medals, as well as the Philippine Liberation Ribbon. He was a graduate of Roosevelt Aviation School. Charles and his wife were the proud owners of Prizza Hardware in Edison for many years. He was also a member of the American Legion, VFW, and Loyal Order of the Moose. He was an avid Philadelphia Eagles fan and New York Mets fan. Charles' son, Joe, is a member of the SAL Squadron 25. Charles passed away in 2018 at the age of 95. Thank you, Charles. David enlisted in the U.S. Navy, David McGuff, sponsored by David's family and friends. David entered in the U.S. Navy in April 1990, where he served for 4 years. He completed basic training in the Great Lakes and was assigned to the battleship USS Wisconsin in Norfolk, Virginia. In August 1990, assigned as a boatswain mate, David was deployed to the Persian Gulf and actively participated in Operation Desert Storm. Upon returning from the Persian Gulf and the decommission of the USS Wisconsin, David reported aboard the USS Mount Whitney, which was a communication ship for the Second Fleet. David and his wife moved to Milltown 21 years ago. He worked and retired as a sergeant from the Middlesex County Department of Corrections and raised their son. Throughout the years and currently, he has voluntarily served on the Milltown Board of Health. He has also been a proud American Legion and VFW member since 1994. Thank you, David. Christopher Newcomb, sponsored by Sons of the American Legion, Squadron 25. Chris joined the U.S. Coast Guard Reserve in 2002, shortly after 9/11. He completed boot camp in Cape May and was sent to U.S. Coast Guard cutter line WYTL 65611, a 65-foot black hull tugboat in New York City. After 3 years, he was transferred to Station Manasquan Inlet and became a boatswain mate, 3rd class, assigned to the response boat, responsible for search and rescue and law enforcement from the Long Branch to Seaside. Served as a crewman and boarding team member until he became qualified as a coxswain of the small boats. He is also qualified as a crewman on the Motor Lifeboat 47-foot platform. Chris has maintained his National Registry Emergency Medical Technician and has used it many times during search and rescue. The Coast Guard Reserve maintains the same qualifications as their active duty counterparts and are able to complete search and rescue and law enforcement boardings during their duty weekends or when called to active duty. In the last 2 years, Chris was activated 3 times for short 30 to 45 day stints, supporting both Station Manasquan and FEMA at COVID mega sites. Chris is currently a boatswain mate, 1st class, and is committed to fulfilling the 6 years left in his contract. He is a member of Joyce Kilmer American Legion Post 25. He volunteers for Milltown Little League and Ariella Hopkins Day. Thank you, Chris. Chester Schwerk, sponsored by Jack and David Herbert and families. Chester was born in East Brunswick, one of 10 children. His family eventually moved to Milltown. Chester worked for Dallenbach Sand and Gravel as a mechanic and driver before enlisting in the U.S. Navy on March 29, 1944. Chester received his rescue training at Naval Training Center, Sampson, New York, Seneca Lake. After training, he was deployed to U.S. NOB, Londonderry, Ireland, Nats Base, Loughney, Ireland, and then to HQ Co, USNF, Europe. He was qualified as a loading and balancing specialist and a master mechanic for trucks and cars during his service. When the war ended, he traveled back to the U.S. from France to Patuxent River, Maryland, where he eventually separated on December 9, 1945. Returning to Milltown, he took up where he left off with Dallenbach Sand and Gravel as their head equipment mechanic and dredge operator. He also opened Chet Schwerk's repair shop, originally on Coulthard Avenue, eventually on South Main Street. He specialized in small engine repair, mower blade, and saw sharpening. He was known for his ability to fix pretty much anything that broke. Chet sponsored many activities in town, including participants in the soapbox derby held on Main Street as part of the 4th of July activities. Chet was a member of the Milltown Fire Department, serving as chief driver of the 1947 La France, which is now in the NJU Fire Museum in Allentown. He was part of the group that located and recovered the 1921 La France fire truck from a farmer's irrigation operation and brought it back to Milltown for restoration. The fire department proudly maintains that unit today. He was an avid hunter and raised a few hunting hounds. Chet was married to Frances Herbert of East Brunswick, and they lived on South Main Street until his death in 1969. Chet was proud of his Navy service and spoke of it often. Thank you, Chet. Gavin Risk. Gavin was born and raised in Milltown. He enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1986 at the age of 19. Gavin completed his basic training at Fort Still, Oklahoma. After basic training, Gavin served a 2-year enlistment in the regular Army at Fort Stewart, Georgia. He then returned to Milltown and continued to serve in the Jersey Army National Guard after active duty enlistment, and then eventually in 2003 onward with the U.S. Army Reserves. Gavin retired as a lieutenant colonel from the Army on August 1st, 2021, after 35 years of service. He is a 25-year member of Joyce Kilmer American Legion Post 25. Thank you, Gavin. Robert Risk, sponsored by his son Gavin Risk. Bob was born in Milltown in 1931 and lived on West Church Street. He served in the Air Force from 1950 to 1954 and was stationed at Buttonwood Air Base near Manchester, England. Bob returned to Milltown after completing his service and married his wife Renee in 1957 and purchased a house on JF Kennedy Drive. He worked for the public service and retired in 1993 after 31 years. Bob was a member of Joyce Kilmer American Legion Post 25 since 1954 and proudly served on the Bingo Committee and Executive Committee. Bob passed away in 2007 at the age of 75. Thank you, Bob. Ignatius R. Tullo, sponsored by his daughter Mary Rose Agel. Ignatius Nat Tullo is the father of longtime Milltown resident American Legion Auxiliary Unit 25 member Mary Rose Agel. Mary Rose wanted to honor her father this Memorial Day. Nat proudly served 6 years in the U.S. Army Reserves during the Vietnam era. Nat did his basic training at Fort Dix. He was a Specialist 5 and retired as a sergeant. During his time of service, he was on heightened alert for possible deployment to Cuba for the Bay of Pigs invasion. Nat said that the troops were combat ready and on alert for hours, ready to go when called. Tensions ran high and you could hear a pin drop. Nat was proud to serve our country and continually supported our troops. Thank you, Nat. Let's give our sponsors and heroes a round of applause, please. Going to play a short video that I made. I hope you enjoy it. For those of you who are maybe on the side over here, you might want to come around.
We don't think about that much till we send them off to war. That's when we get behind them and show them our support. But we sometimes take for granted that they'll always be around. Each one of them a hero for defending this sacred ground. They keep us safe and they keep us free. They make this country proud. From one American to another, it's time they heard these words out loud. Thank you for the job you do so well. You risk it all in freedom's name and sometimes go through hell. Thank you for the sacrifices made, for the ones who never came back home. The highest price was paid. came back home, the highest price was paid. It's about time to show some gratitude. Let me be the first in line to say thank you.
separate ways, I would like to ask that each of you keep in your thoughts today the true meaning of Memorial Day. It isn't just a day off. It was designed a national holiday to pay homage to those who gave their lives for us. It isn't just a day to go to the beach, or to bike, or to hike, or do lawn work. Do those things, but do that with an appreciation that those privileges were hard-won. To quote a lyric from Zac Brown, salute the ones who died, the ones that gave their lives, so we don't have to sacrifice the things we love. Memorial Day is a special, sacred day. Many soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, and Coast Guardsmen were killed far from home and never returned to their families and loved ones. But in shedding their blood for people they never knew, they became loved ones to us all. I just want to let everybody know at 4 o'clock we are going to be having a dedication of a bench in honor of one of our past members, as well as a dedication of a monument to all the branches of the service. It's going to be over in front of the American Legion. Please stand for the benediction.
Today, all those who have come before us and given the greatest gift to our democratic nation, their lives. Their duty, their honor, and their lives are precious gifts that must be given to the future of our country and our families. The duty of our veterans, past and present, is the fiber of the word freedom and is stronger by our recognition of service and sacrifice. We honor that service and sacrifice today and should carry it forward for our children to honor. Freedom and democracy are the result of all of the most honorable this country has produced. Today we stand to remember the most honorable amongst us, and we must continue to carry the burden of their sacrifice, lest we lose sight of what true freedom is. Today is for remembering. Stand in honor of them. Walk in their path of duty. Remember the cost, and hold in your heart the cause of freedom. We remember today, Memorial Day, our veterans.
concludes our dedication. In honor of the 10 years that we've been doing this, I've made a video, and it's just going to go on. It's a long video, so I'm just going to start playing it. You guys can watch it, do whatever you want. Also, we're going to have food and refreshments, and the bar will be open. So that's it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming here today. My name is Jonathan Murray. I'm going to be talking to you all about my Eagle Scout project dedication. I'd first like to call over Senior Patrol Leader Jerry Reeves to do the Pledge of Allegiance. A little bit short.
Put it in your mouth, close.
He knows.
All right, please face the flag, hand over heart. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
We will now have Rosie sing God Bless America.
Please join with me. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, Jerry and Rosie. Now, for all of you that don't know me, I'm a junior at Spotswood High School and a third-generation Milltown resident. I've been in the Milltown Scouting program for 11 years. My scouting journey has been filled with so many great friendships and memories. Being a member of Troop 33 with an 84-year history in Milltown has been a blessing to me and my fellow scouts and our families. Between the trips, service projects, and dedicated leaders, I've grown to have an appreciation towards my community. While being a Life Scout, it is required to plan, develop, and give leadership to others in a community service project helpful to any religious institution, any school, or your community. My project was to revitalize the existing flagpole area for the Legion. Near the end of March 2021, the American Legion commander, Mr. Ronald Dixon, of Joyce Kilmer Post 25, reached out to the Scoutmaster, who's also my dad, Mr. Murray, and asked if there were any scouts that were interested in a potential Eagle Scout project. When I heard about this, I was immediately very interested in the opportunity to give back to the American Legion for all that they do for their scouting program. I reviewed my plans with Mr. Dixon for the layout of the new pavers for the flagpole and the Freedom Tree. This was my vision for how I wanted to show respect and honor to the 6 branches of the military. My project consists of 3 main aspects: the revitalization of the Freedom Tree, the flagpole area, and the skip's bench. The Freedom Tree consisted of an old stone border that I have replaced with new edge stones, mulch, planted flowers, and increased the area. The Freedom Tree is also known as the Prisoner of War Tree. It is a tribute to the men and women that have been captured while being in the line of duty. The dogwood tree was dedicated, giving thanks to all the prisoners of wars that sacrificed their lives for our freedoms. I'd like to ask the State Commander to come up and say a few words.
I think it's very fitting to have this on today, as we're supposed to be celebrating Memorial Day. For most people, in the general public, it may be a celebration, but for men and women who have served, we understand the true meaning of today. The scouting projects that you guys do carry on the tradition of remembering what today really is, the sacrifices made by so many so that we can be here and enjoy things like this today. Keep in your thoughts and prayers the men and women who didn't make it home today, and try and remember every day of your lives what they gave so we could be here today. Congratulations to you on this project. I look forward to the unveiling of it. Thank you all very much.
Now at the base of the flagpole, there's a plaque dedicated to Brian D. Clayton, who is the only Milltown resident to be killed in the Vietnam War. This building was dedicated to him in his honor in 1965, and we give thanks to him. Within the flagpole area, all new pavers were placed in place of the existing pebbles and dirt. When displaying the branches of the military, my dad was able to purchase 5 of the 6 markers needed. The Space Force medallion had never been made before, and we could not find it online. We decided to ask Michael Brown, who was making my dedication plaque, if it would be possible to make a Space Force medallion. He contacted the foundry, which had the design, but not a mold. The mold was custom made and was casted, making this Legion, Joyce Kilmer, Post 25, the only American Legion with a Space Force medallion. Please reveal the bench. This bench is dedicated in loving memory of Kenneth Skip Davison. He was the one who gave me the idea of using grave markers to represent the branches of the military. This conversation started while being at our troops' annual placing of the flags at St. Peter's Cemetery for Memorial Day. This bench has been rightfully placed so in Skip's Corner, as everyone calls it. On the landing above the bench displays beautifully hand-painted military images painted by Skip's wife and daughter. Skip was Commander Rick Dixon's right-hand man here at the American Legion and a fellow supporter of the scouting program. Sadly, last year on September 7, 2021, Kenneth Skip Davidson passed away from COVID. Robert, would you like to say a prayer?
Skip and I were fellow submariners, and this is a submariner's poem after they passed. In ocean wastes, no poppies blow, no crosses stand in ordered row. There young hearts sleep beneath the wave, the spirited, the good, the brave. But stars a constant vigil keep for them who lie beneath the deep. 'Tis true you cannot kneel in prayer on certain spot and think he's there. But you can to the ocean go, see the whitecaps marching row on row. No one for him will always ride, in and out, in every tide. And when your span of life is past, he'll meet you at the captain's mast. And they who mourn on distant shore, for sailors who'll come home no more, can dry their tears and pray for these who rest beneath the heaving seas, for stars that shine and winds that blow, and whitecaps marching rows on row. And they can never lonely be, for when they lived, they chose the sea.
Thank you, Rob. Of course, all of this would not be possible without the help from my family, scouts, leaders, and the community. I'm thankful to God for the beautiful weather during the project, having a smooth transportation with a heavy stone from our house here, and Post members' helpful opinions. Big thanks to the American Legion, Post 25, Ladies Auxiliary, Sons of American Legion, the 82nd Airborne Division, Benzato family, owners of North Brunswick Construction, Mr. McClelland and CME Associates, Mr. Brown, Home Depot Tool Renters, and Troop 33 Scouts and Leaders. Thank you to everyone else that had donated their time and money, making this project look amazing. I thank the American Legion for this opportunity for me to show my appreciation towards all military members. I thank all of you for coming here this afternoon, showing your support to the Scouting program and the American Legion family. Have a great rest of your Memorial Day.
I didn't shed a tear on there. Right, I did.
Oh, sorry.
So there's one for the oldest ones they need. They have like a little patch on there.